there, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron John here for Forever Football DRFC, your Doncaster Rovers fan channel. It is transfer analysis time. We have announced a centre-back, and it's not an experienced centre-back at all. This is a up-and-coming young star, Joseph Olowu, who's been on trial with Manchester United's under-23s, appearing a couple of times in the Premier League too. Now, Olowu has signed for Doncaster Rovers on a short-term deal until January. So let's see how this one goes. And I'll tell you my thinking process as to why I think till January is a decent, smart decision. I'm going to talk about my thinking behind the smart decision of until January, speak about the social media reaction, the club statement, my thoughts, and also some journalists have been quoting about this guy as well. So make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to this YouTube video, and let's get straight into this one with the club's official statement. And it reads as follows. Rovers have completed the signing of central defender Joseph Olowu on a deal until January 2022. The 21-year-old arrives at the Keepmoat Stadium to add defensive cover, with Tom Anderson and Cameron John currently on the sidelines. Olowu came through the ranks at Premier League side Arsenal, where he played alongside current Rovers loanee Matt Smith. He was released by the Gunners earlier this summer and has spent time on trial with Manchester United. The Nigerian-born defender will wear the number 5 shirt during his time with Rovers. Now, obviously, like I said, short term till January. Now, obviously, the Free Press has put out their own article about this, saying they've confirmed the signing of the former Arsenal youngster Joseph Olowu on a short-term deal. Now, the Nigerian-born centre-half has been training with Rovers for the past few weeks and has been handed a contract until January, as well, and looks to bolster his defensive options. He's eligible to make his debut on tomorrow's trip against Wigan. He joined Arsenal's academy at the age of 8 and remained with the club until the end of last season. He picked up senior experience with loans at Wealdstone and Cork City. He spent time on trial with Man United's under-23s earlier in the summer and played in matches against Chelsea and Man City in Premier League 2. Well, spotted the defender playing in a friendly for the under-23s in early August, with the current Rovers loanee Ethan Galbraith also in the side, and he invited him to train with Rovers. A deal for the youngster was first mentioned several weeks ago, but Welland's priority at the time was in recruiting forward players. The injuries to Anderson and John led to the Rovers board sanctioning the release of further funds in order to secure a free agent defender, with Welland turning to Olowu. So obviously there is positives, and I will go through them during my thoughts in a little bit. But let's have a look at some social media reaction. You know those Rovers fans don't pull any punches sometimes, and you know what? It's been, compared to other signings this season, it's been all positive reaction on social media. No real. There's not been real. I mean, look at Vulca, for example. When he signed, there was a lot of comments from in social media saying, where's the striker? Where's the striker? Yeah, good signing, but where's the striker? There doesn't seem to be any kind of negativity or some kind of hesitation with this one. It seems like it's going to be all positive, this reaction. So here's some of the reactions. Someone put a clip of Stretford Paddock, I think it was, no, Full-Time Devils, sorry, and it was someone saying we're going on a title charge, something on the lines of title charge. So someone obviously believes we're going to turn this form around very, very quickly. Welcome to the club, Joseph. Joseph Olowu, best defender in the league. That's a big statement. Only rivaled by Big Tom. That's an interesting statement as well. Welcome. Man-like Olowu. Seen him a couple of times, looks good lad, great young defender, that is what we need. Very interesting reaction there, looks good, solid. Looking at the quote tweets, let's get to work, grateful for this opportunity, God gets all the glory, says, that was officially from Joseph Olowu. So really nice of Joseph to quote tweet Doncaster Rovers. Welcome, time to hit the ground running tomorrow from the Black Bank on Twitter. Right in time to get injured tomorrow, given our look. Welcome, Joseph. I'm sure he won't be injured tomorrow. Now, one particular quote tweet caught my eye, and I wanted to share this. And this is something I've mentioned in the past. Even during the deadline day shambles, I said, look, deadline day was an absolute shambles. But yes, the results haven't been great, but the the main objective about the budget was to bring in a core group of players to build around for future seasons. And that's what we've done with the likes of Noel, Roshan Williams, Ben Close, etc. And Owls Analytics on Twitter actually pointed this out. Loved Donny's recruitment this summer. Bearing in mind this from a Sheffield Wednesday fan who's going to be fighting at the top of the league. Loved Donny's recruitment this summer. I say this as they sit at the bottom of the league. In particular, Olowu, Barlow, Noel and Ben Close. This before their loan business, Galbraith arguably being the choice pick. All would have been welcome at S6 for me. And there's been a bit of a reaction to that. Obviously, Rovers have had a lot of bad luck with injuries. You know, Anderson, John, Taylor, Barlow, Hawula, Okunabiri. Well, not Hawula at the moment, but the rest of them are all currently injured. Then we had a COVID outbreak. We lost a few players due to that. We had Smith lost at one point. We've got Ben Blythe on the sidelines at the minute. And someone also said we're 24th and scored 1 goal. And they replied to that comment by saying, yeah, not a good start, but I still think you signed some good players of individual quality. But the beauty of football is that someone you expect to do well will often disappoint. Case in point, Izzy Brown for us in terms of Sheffield Wednesday. So I thought those tweets from the Owls Analytics caught my eye. That it's still been a decent window in terms of the other positions. It's just been the attacking options and not planning and not putting enough decent planning into getting some done deals for the attack for deadline day. And also with Butler gone, we needed some cover at centre-back anyway if we could, and we didn't end up getting that, rooting in the free agency for it. And to be fair, from what the journalist has said, and I'll go on to that in a minute, we picked up a decent guy. Some other quote tweets then. Nice to hear he's been training with us in the recent weeks. Hopefully he can hit the ground running tomorrow against Charlie White. Welcome, mate. Welcome to Doncaster Rovers. Looks an absolute unit. Gutted. Can't be there tomorrow. From a Rovers fan there. Squad number, of course, will be number 5. That's also come from Will Unwin, who's a freelance sports journalist, mainly at The Guardian. Obviously, there's been some other reaction from journalists. In fact, a guy called Jim Howson, who's a football writer. Now, he wrote a article on Joseph Olowu, and this was via, or is linked as an article, through Manchester Evening News, and this was all about the defender himself, and it's everything we need to know about him. So he played for Arsenal, played for Cork City, played for Wealdstone. After being born in Ibadan, Nigeria, he moved to England as a child at the age of 8, joined Arsenal's academy, rising through the ranks and accumulated 34 appearances for under 23 and a further 31 at under 18 level. He made 5 appearances before the Irish League was suspended, but did enough in that time for Cork to extend his loan so he could stay for the remainder of the season once football resumed. The Cork manager described Olowu's playing style upon signing him, saying that Joseph had been training with us for a while. He's a centre-back, he reads the game really well, and obviously from being at Arsenal, he's very good on the ball, which is something that we like at the club. Obviously talking about Cork City at the time. He's quick and he's strong, so he's got all the attributes you could ask for. It's understood that United were running the rule over Olowu with a view of bolstering their defensive numbers at youth levels. So that's when he was training with Manchester United. Obviously with Will Fish joining Stockport County, Bernard to Hull on temporary bases, and Mengi obviously still there as well. Obviously they've United at youth level have been struggling defensively. They've brought Paul McShane as a player coach to bring some solidarity. But of course, Olowu wouldn't be joining United. They'd be joining us. So obviously, that is what we've read about Joseph Olowu. Now, obviously, my thoughts on the deal. Now, first of all, about the fact that it is a short-term contract until January. On the one hand, you think, well, why isn't it a full season? You know, things like that. Second, you're thinking, is it something to do with financials? I mean, we are debt-free according to the board from the meeting a couple of weeks ago with the Black Bank and the VSC, etc. They did say we're debt-free. All debts have been cleared. But obviously, you're still wondering whether it's a short-term deal till January. the reason why I think it's a smart thing that we've done it, whether it's, you know, what for whatever reason, the reason why I think it's a smart deal is because you can see in that 6 months what progress he's making, and then you go from there whether you want to sign him up onto a further deal to add some more defensive cover once the likes of John, Anderson, Blythe are back in the squad. So I think it's a smart deal on that point. In terms of what I've seen from other journalists and what he does, as a youngster, he reads the game quite well, and I've seen highlights of this guy as well. And he likes to score as a defender. He scored a couple of goals as a defender, so you know, especially training with the Man United unders as well earlier this season in the summer. So he's not afraid to be a goal-scoring defender from the right areas and get into the right positions to do goal-scoring work as a defender. I think, like the Cork City manager said, I think he reads the game well. I think he's got the attributes to be a great defender. I think why some fans may be reluctant is because when we were signing a centre-back, we were looking for someone experienced. And you sort of saw the names that were coming up on the transfer market free agency, your David Wheaters, your Martin Craney, your Matthew Connolly. I even saw Johan Doidrew up there in the free agency, and I thought, you know what, it made a lot of sense. You know, he's a free agent. He was playing for Nordsjælland last season. You know, he'd want a huge wage cut, but it wasn't out the realms of possibility. People might think I'm mad, but, you know, put up the logic and, you know, it's a no-brainer. But I think we've been very smart about this one, especially since Wellens has actually seen this guy, as well as Galbraith, and he's been after him for weeks. And because we were after these attacking options, we couldn't go in for him during the actual window. So now that he's a free agent, we could go in for him when we needed to. And the first option, as the free press mentioned, Wellens turned to Olowu. So Wellens knows how to use Olowu, and he knows how to train him. He knows how to utilise the best football IQ out of him. And you've got to trust Wellens' judgment on this one. Absolutely 100%, in my opinion, trust Wellens' judgment. And Wellens came out, you know, days ago and said, give me 10 to 12 games to try and turn this around and see where we are. Let's see where we are after 10 to 12 games, get every single first teamer back, and hopefully don't get any more injuries, and see where we are. Because then we'll have a proper judgment of where we're going to finish this season and where we need to be this season. So that's why personally I'm giving Wellens these 10 to 12 games. Other fans will comment down below and say, why are you giving Wellens 10 to 12 games? You know, give him till the end of October, and if we haven't got any points, sack him. It's 7 games into the season. Calm it down. The league does not get decided 7 games in. It doesn't. So my advice to Rovers fans would be, give him the 10 to 12 games. Let's see how the new defender does. Let's see what happens when the players come back from injury. Let's make sure we have our first team back. Let's try and avoid any more injuries. And in 10 to 12 games, let's see where we are. Because out of those 10 to 12 games, at the next 10 to 12 games, we could win 8, 9, 10 of them. You never know. You never know. You can never predict the future. One win will change fortunes. I believe one win will change fortunes. I think that win is coming at some point. So that's just on what I think. But I think Wellens has been smart about this. Like I said, short-term deal till January, and analyse the 6 months he's here, and then extend if needed with whatever January budget we've got. I will do a video around Christmas time to tell you guys exactly what I think we need to be doing in the January window, taking into account the half of the season that we've had. But yeah, short-term deals till January, very smart. Analyse 6 months. Let's see where we are. If he's impressing, sign him up on it for the rest of the season at least, if not another year. And if he doesn't impress, we let him go. We bring someone else in. I think that his attributes make him a good defender. Yes, people were looking for something more experienced. Not going to lie, I was as well. But you know what? He's up and coming. He's wearing the number 5 shirt for a reason. Because if he impresses in the next 6 months, and he's here for at least another season, or at least till the end of the season, wearing the number 5 shirt, then, you know, first of all, what's that say for Joe Wright? I'm sure Liam will release something at some point about Joe Wright. Because that is Joe Wright's number, I believe. So, you know, what's going to happen to Joe Wright now? But also, Olowu is a young defender. He's going to have time to develop. Kind of like how we kind of gave time to Cameron John a couple of years back, a year or two ago. So, you know, give this guy time. Let's see what happens. And, yeah, he's got all the attributes to be a great player for us. But I'm really excited. I think he's a defender, like many journalists have said and writers have said, that goes under the radar quite a bit. So, I can't wait to see what he does in a Rovers shirt. But that is going to be it for this analysis, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for the Wigan preview. I'll see you guys in the next video very, very soon. I'm Aaron Chandler from Forever Football, DRFC. That is full-time. Rovers I die. Welcome to the club, Joseph. Make sure you do well in Rovers colours. Please, we need all the help we can get. Rovers till I die!